Guys, Chippy12 here, and welcome to episode 3 of Card Week. Today, my family and I went to pick up the new Plane Chase 2012 decks, and I got the red-green Devour deck called Primordial Hunger. So yeah, works perfectly since everyone in our family can get one, because 4 people in my family play. So yeah. I'll open this up and then I'll show you the cards inside. And now a little while later, while I have everything opened, it comes with a nice Plane Chase die with the 2 symbols on it that you use for the planes. And for the planes, we have Furnace Layer on New Phyrexia, Jund on Alara, Kilnspire District on Ravnica, Lair of the Ashen Idol on Asgal, Orochi Colony on Kamigawa, Prov on Ravnica, Celestia Loft Gardens on Ravnica, Stencia on Innistrad, and then for the new cards, the Phenomenons, we have Spatial Merging and Reality Shaping. And now onto the deck, which came in a nice deck box, which has a name and throw mock on the front. We have, for the mana base, 11 forests and 6 mountains, a Terramorphic Expanse, and a Colony Garden. Some of these cards are sleeved because they're going into a new commander deck that I'm working on, which I'll show next. Skarg the Rage Pits, 2 Kazandu Refuge, 2 Gruul Turfs, and then for the enchantments we have Awakening Zone, which is great because it gives you some 0/1s every time it's your upkeep. But you can also feed your Devour guys. Warstorm Surge, which is another good one because your guys can get pretty good, so that's a lot of damage to deal to creatures or players. Fires of Yavimaya, which gives all your creatures haste, which is also really awesome, and you can sack it to give target creature +1, +2/+2 until end of turn. Fiery Conclusion, which deals 5 damage. It also plays off some of the creatures that have abilities when they go to the graveyard. Fling, which also deals damage and plays off the abilities that go to the graveyard. Mark of Mutiny, which is nice because you can steal one of their creatures, it gets bigger, you can attack with it, and then you can also sacrifice it to a creature with Devour. Hellion Eruption, which is nice because you're going to be generating a lot of tokens with this deck, so whatever tokens you have, they can become 4/4 red Hellions. Overrun, which is also a nice pumper, and it gives your big guys trample as well. Fractured Power Stone, which lets you reroll the planar die for if you're playing Plane Chase. 2 Flare Husks, which give you some nice equipment and germs to devour as well. A Hissing Iguana, which has, when it goes through a graveyard, it deals 1 damage to target creature or player. No, to target player, so that plays off Devour. So does this one. The Mud Button Torch Runner, when it goes through graveyard, deals 3 damage to target creature or player. The Wall of Blossoms, which is like a green Wall of Omens. Tukatung Thallid, when it dies, you put a 1/1 green Saproling creature token into play. 2 Viridian Emissaries, which let you search for a basic land and put it in tapped when it dies. 2 Brindleshotes, which let you put in a 3/3 token when it dies. A Penumbra Spider, which basically lets you put in a token that's a copy of it when it dies. And also it's reach, which is nice. Mitotic Slime, which when it dies you put in 2 2/2s that when they die you put in 2 1/1s for each one. Which is pretty nice in this deck as well because you can get a lot of Devour effects off of that. A a Nest Invader, which puts in a 0/1 Eldrazi spawn token, which you can either use for mana or for devouring. 2 Beetleback Chiefs, which gives you 2 1/1 tokens to devour. A Dragonlair Spider, which is really awesome in this deck because whenever an opponent plays a spell, you get to put a 1/1 into play, which will give you more devour. And it's just a huge creature also. 2 Thunderthrash Elders, now getting into the Devour creatures. This one has Devour 3 and it's a 1/1. And Thornthrash Viashino, Devour 2, but you can pay to give it Trample, which is really awesome. Gluttonous Slime has Flash and Devour 1, so if you need a blocker that they're not expecting, you can throw that in there, and you can, if you have enough tokens out, you can get it pretty big and kill their attacker. The Hellkite Hatchling, Devour 1, and it has Flying and Trample if it devoured a creature. Which is pretty awesome. Mycoloth, which at the beginning of your upkeep, you put a 1/1 green Saproling creature token onto the battlefield for each +1/+1 counter on it, which is pretty insane because that gives you more creatures to devour. The Prey Caesar Dragon, which has Devour 2 and Flying, and when it attacks, it deals damage to creature or player equal to the number of +1/+1 counters on it, which is pretty awesome. And of course, the legendary creature of this deck, Thromok the Insatiable. It's a 0/0 Hellion, but here's the good part, is it has Devour X, where X is the number of creatures it devoured. So basically, you just square the number of creatures it devours, and that's how many +1/+1 counters it has on it. So if you can give it like Flying or Trample or something like that, it's pretty ridiculous. Because it can get up to be about like, if you devour 8 creatures, that's a 64/64. Anyway, next I will show you the commander deck I made based on this deck with Thromok. Alright, so unfortunately it wouldn't let me upload the whole thing with the commander deck in it because it was too much data and it wouldn't let me upload that much. So instead I'm going to make it next week's card week, so be looking for that. And please comment any more suggestions you have for card week below. And please comment and subscribe and keep watching for more Magic videos.